Alrighty, folks. So big rounds here. In round 2 of T90 Titans League, we have Group B action. We've got Hera in the blue. Hera playing as the Gurjaras. And in the red, we have Yo. I was surprised. His very first pick was Lithuanians. This tells me, and I can see he's already on wood, he is going to try and take advantage of the swamp in the middle. Now, there's other civilizations that could have been picked here. There's Mongols, for example, that Yo could have picked. Nobody picked the Mongols or banned the Mongols. I was surprised with all that hunt out there. Just showing how different people see some of these maps and how there's no defined meta yet necessarily with how things should be played. Here comes Yo out to dock the middle. The thing about Yo is he is seen as a top 5 player, okay? And he came into this, and I talked about how Yo and Hera would be probably the top 2 in their group with some other players behind. Again, the top 3 advance towards the knockouts and the potential for tons of glory and cash at the conclusion of the group. The 4th place just simply survives to stay alive in this Platinum League for the next season. And then the bottom 2 are out. And as it stands right now, Yo has 1 win after the first round against Bro, one of the quote-unquote, weaker players in the group. He showed he wasn't so weak. So I think this is a really tough situation for Yo to be in. He was 2-1 in the first round. Now he's up against Hera. If Hera were to 3-0 dunk on him right now, it would put Yo in a bit of a panic situation for the last 3 rounds. The other players that are in the group that Yo would have left to play would be Velez, Barles, and then Dragonstar. And, lots to keep an eye on here. That's what I love about this format, man. You have to be consistent. Otherwise, players are going to take advantage of your weaknesses, and they're going to send you out. But again, a lot of speculation early. We don't necessarily expect that Yo is still going to be relegated. But yeah, again, we'll talk more about it after this play all 3. Heroin for the Gurjaras, which is an approach to completely forget about the water. And again, Gurjaras is another civilization we've seen a lot in this tournament so far. Some players are picking it, other players are banning it. It was Hera's very first pick, and then this is Yo's very first pick as well. So Yo actually could have picked the Gurjaras himself if he felt the Gurjaras were stronger, because he had the very first civ pick, Hera had the next 2. I personally think that Hera's approach is best for him, let's put it that way, because he just simplifies it. He says, okay, I'm not going to worry about all this hybrid nonsense. I'm just going to focus on land. And I also like how if you have a lot of scouts, let's say, you can actually pick off some of the fish out here. Now, he's being annoying right now, but he can continue to do this because this camel for the Gurjaras would win the fight against the scout in the Dark Age. So yeah, it's just an awkward spot for Yo to be in. He does have more eco units working. Yo getting Loom right now, about to click up towards the next age. And then Hera already on the way to the next stage with Loom. This is an 18 villager play, 19 total population. Of course, Hera has all that food inside of his mill. I think Hera had the Magyars when he played this in the first round against Dragonstar. And I think he went all in scouts. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. For Yo, I don't think he played this map in the first rounds. And I also don't know, as Yo now runs into Hera's town center. Oh my goodness. I also don't know Yo's level of prep for this map, right? Did he just load up today and see the map and decide Lithuanians is good without looking at any other games? I don't know, but this is pretty bad. He lost his scout now, guys. And gives the Canadian Hera a great start. Now, I don't know how many people are following this. I didn't follow any of it. Too many best of 21s for me, and I've got a tournament to focus on here. But there was a best of 21 between Hera and Yo played the previous 2 days, which Yo won 11-10. But let's just blow things out of proportion here, okay? Let's just say in 3 weeks' time, Yo gets relegated. Do you think he's going to care about a best of 21 victory, 11-10? Or being knocked out of a $22,000 tournament where he's going to have to get promoted in the next season? Lots of things going on these days. Prioritizing your time and prep is obviously going to be very important. Baroa took advantage of Yo in the first round. Hera obviously with a great start here. And this is kind of what I meant, right? Like, this camel is showing what scouts can do against the fish. So we'll see. Yo, though, is adding a stable. He also, being Lithuanians, has very fast spearmen. So he's going to go Fire Galley in the middle to protect himself. And that's I like that addition because otherwise this is just going to be a big pain. And then he, starting some small walls here, is going to be adding spearmen and scouts. Now, Hera hasn't actually scouted Yo. And so we're talking about all these small things with Yo. We're like, oh, you know, is Yo going to regret this or that? Hera spent a lot of time out here. He didn't kill any fishing ships. So the fishing ships are still working. And so, yeah, I mean, he's had his scout, but he doesn't actually know where his opponent is. I think he's going to find him, though. And Yo actually missed an opportunity for a hit there. Yo walling up the right side, which means Hera's left, Yo's left side, excuse me, is exposed. But overall, with this many spearmen, I think Yo will end up being fine. It's going to be a lot of work for Hera to be able to push into this against the speedy spearmen. This might actually lead to Hera. It looks like he's doing it already. Going to archers a bit earlier. Also, another interesting little tidbit is Hera did not get a horse color for his farms. Yo didn't get his wood upgrade or his farm upgrade. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hera not getting horse color is a surprise to me because normally the scout build requires that. So that's weird to me there. And then Yo not getting either of them. I mean, clearly looking to play super safe. Happy with the fish he has in the middle. He's got plenty of wood banked up. Just imagine what his wood would be like if he had that upgrade. Okay, Spearman went down there. So far, we've had 2 kills for Hera. No deaths. Obviously, one of those kills was also the scout situation earlier underneath the TC. And Yo with some very creative walling here. Well done. And yeah, he's just going to push this stuff away. He knew that he needed to get the gate up because Hera's got enough to fight 1 spearman at a time. I still don't think it's a fantastic thing to give up 2 spearmen like that. But in the end, he kills the camel. He's going to kill a scout. And yeah, again, he loses another spearman. So that's 5 kills, 2 deaths for Hera. And Hera just continues to take fight against the spears because Yo isn't paying attention. But there Yo's paying attention. Now Yo's got 2 scouts. Does Hera have any defensive spears? You know, because he did run by this. And the other thing that's probably shocking for Hera right now is when he played Dragonstar, Dragonstar didn't wall at all. He played really open, double stable scouts. It was all in feudal. Again, I've been watching everything, right? I've been watching Gold League and Platinum. And I still think we're at a point where players, they're not watching other games at this stage. Especially someone like Hera. You know, he's probably got a lot of confidence. He can just move on regardless. So it is just really interesting to see how he's prepped this. Because now he's going double scouts into walls. Which obviously may do something if there's an overchop, which might happen. But yeah, it's just an interesting situation. Hera's just clearing up spearmen with scouts at this point. He says, come on, like, come at me. But still hasn't cleared up the fish, I guess. And still doesn't know that Yo's over here with scouts. What a frustrating situation it would be for Hera to lose a couple villagers to 3 scouts. Here he comes with villagers now. So he's sensing that Yo wants to sit behind these walls. And Yo hasn't attacked, man. Yo doesn't know where any of this is. Has not attacked. He does not see the tower. And oh, now there's an overchop for Yo. And Hera's in. Disaster for Yo. His scouts have done nothing. And he doesn't even have that many of them. Hera with 3 kills at this point. Also is going to drop the tower. Yo is making a counter tower. But what a frustrating situation for Yo. And now a frustrating situation for Hera. It's almost so late that it's probably shocking for him as he now loses 2 villagers. But you could tell Yo is really busy at home right now because his scouts stopped moving. And again, Hera is showing the power of scouts with upgrades. He simply had bloodlines. He didn't have attack. He didn't have armor. But Yo has lost so many spearmen this game. His most created unit besides a villager has to be a spearman. And Hera will kill 2 more. Obviously, the tower is also here shooting villagers. I think Hera misclicked the house, actually, or the tower, one or the other. And who's to say Yo can continue to kill? Here, Hera. He actually has one of his scouts trapped. We saw that yesterday as well. I didn't realize that was going to be such a common thing here. But yeah, Hera's going to be okay, and he just continues to take out spearmen. Faster spearmen, who even cares at this point? Yo did re-wall. He is also going to stone so he can make more towers. He is now going to make a house. Very intelligent hold from Yo. He also has 400 food. He also still has the 2 on gold, so he could maybe make it up to castle. Hera's all in. Okay? So, for Yo, the answer is still Spearman until eventual Castle Age, if he can make it there. I wonder if Hera could maybe swing by the pond to snipe those 3 fishing ships. I feel like that'd be such a big help, because you've already delayed his berry income. Who cares, man? That would be scouts that wouldn't be here to take the main fight, and Hera's going to continue to take fights against Spearman. The guy doesn't care. Also doesn't have armor or forging yet. Would love to see one of those upgrades, but it's all about numbers for Hera. The KD is 24, 25 to 12, and he's now going to drop a forward blacksmith, which looks funny because it's next to the wall, which is what you would normally do if it was your base to fortify it up. I think he's just waiting for stone right now, so we can make the next tower. Again, Yo, who went down 2-1 to Bruh, surprisingly, in the first series, is now up against Hera, and he is struggling big time. He picked Lithuanians first. Above Mongols, above Gujaras, above all the options that were out there, the 42 options, he picked Lithuanians. And Hera's loving his spot right now, I'm sure. He does have a lot of weak scouts. And if Yo is able to get the walls down, then maybe Yo could make his own counter tower here. Honestly, I would be dead already if I was Yo. So impressive. He also has armor now, but so does Hera. And I think Hera has correctly assessed the situation, and he's now running out here to stop the fish. So good work from him. Does need to be careful he doesn't get trapped or something. Hera will now garrison, and Yo needs to run with his gold miners. I think if you're Hera, you just kill the gold miners. Yo needs to leave. Hera will maybe try and get in front to kill these two because they're weak. And yeah, should be easy kills for him. And now he should probably pull back to his tower. He's going to take the fight, actually. I don't know if this is a great fight. That's a surprising fight from Hera when everything was going so good for him. Does need to be careful he doesn't get trapped in here. If I'm Yo, I build a house here right now. Try and get a house up as quickly as possible. Hera, okay. His villagers will pop out, and okay. I guess for Yo, there were still some scouts there from Hera, and after it's all said and done, 44 eco for Hera. The fishing ships for Yo, at least one of them is just sitting out here. I think it will die. Oh, there's a demo. There's a demo. Boom! Say goodbye to your scouts, Hera. Oh my god. Dang, man. How is Yo alive here? That was so good. I thought he would just give up on it. Dang, and okay, so Hera is sending more scouts in. Still looking for damage. At this point, the Eco KD is 11 to 2. So Hera has done a sick job with his kills. And those fishing ships are... I mean, he's not going to add any more at this point. I think the situation has pretty much finished itself. But guys, this is what I meant. Hera's got to be really careful. I do think Hera can take the house down, though, and leave if he needs to. And then also, he has the scouts here. It's so awkward, man. This is a ridiculous game. See, the spearmen are going to be focused by the tower, and Hera then will take the fight if the spearmen are weak. Now, I think this is what he tried to do before, but his scouts were so weak. And now Yo is just adding stone walls. Oh, man. Like, the KD's pretty close. But Hera's had full control this game. There's been a few exceptions to that, obviously. But this is how he wants to play Jungle Swamp, just like he did in the first round. Full aggression from him. Still has villagers in here, which he'll want to keep alive. And Yo is going to spend his time clearing up some towers and still trying to get to Castle Age here. Hera's going to try and wall his villagers in. It would be kind of funny if he were to make a tower or something. Oh my god. He has now walled Yo in with him. And he's going to kill Yo's villagers. They're like... If you're going to kill... And Yo deletes the house, and now Hera makes palisades! What is happening, man? This is ridiculous level from both players, but it's all Hera, man. It's all Hera. He had the lead early, and I know that he lost some scouts, and he might even lose these villas. He's going to try and run now. None of this really matters at the end of the day, because Hera's going to be in Castle Age, and there's so much potential for him to do that. Like, both players with some sick moves... Hera just trying to run away with what he's got. Yo says no. And Hera will lose these villagers, obviously. But think of what he can do in Castle Age. So right now, he might even send villagers forward to drop a castle. The guy's got enough stone for a castle. And if you think about it, I think going for the chakram throwers would be the ideal unit against Lithuanians anyways. Because if Lithuanians have tons of spears and skirmishers, you might not want some of the other options. It's not a very Hera thing to go forward castle on someone's face. It's a Mr. Yo thing to do. Yo now leaving. Hera adding 2 scouts and heading right to the woodline and could find that Vil. And wow, Yo spotted that too. Yo saw the scouts, saved the Vil, is on the move. Wait, he's going to go forward castle on Hera's base. I'm pretty sure. He might have to abandon that plan. He might actually need, he'll see the Vils now. He might actually need a defensive castle. I don't think he was expecting Hera to have this much stone. He stayed on stone for a long time there. Does Yo have any vision over here? Not really. I mean, if he could find something, like some food, maybe it'd be good. Yeah, that castle's going to go up for Hera in a great spot. And I think he'll just make a lumber camp here because he needs wood. He pulled villagers off of wood. Some of his farms are going to start expiring. So yeah, wood is a big thing that he needs right now. Let's see what Yo thinks of this situation, because I think he needs a defensive castle. I think this is way too much pressure coming in his way. As for where you place it, you do have towers on the right, and you could wall that a little bit, so maybe you place the castle on the left. Crazy plays here. He's going to place it here. Nothing Hera can really do about that. Actually, his castle has just killed 2 villagers. Really sloppy from Yo. Hard for me when I'm casting to be able to pick up on that. Spearman there, going to take a fight before pikeman upgrade. Hera will gladly take this fight before pikeman's in. He's taking the hill here. And again, like, Hera's showing how weak just pikemen are, or just spearmen are, excuse me. Yo ends up dropping a TC on the left, which is far from ideal. And guys, Yo is dead. Yo is dead. These camels do 50% more bonus damage. So Latus is not the answer. Yo's economy is in ruins. He can't take gold right now. Who knows? Like, maybe he'll be able to get the gold back, but he doesn't have great scouting. He doesn't have great control over the game. This was his very first civilization pick, but he did not play this in the first round. I personally questioned the Lithuanians the second I saw it. But obviously, I don't want to take a lot away from Hera as well, who's played this very wise, I think. Hera's always been a meta guy as well. So, like, for me, I'm thinking what the meta is, what the best options are. For Yo, he might feel like going for some type of meta play is just not good for him against someone like Hera. And now some Latus are going to go out and counterattack. Now, that's exciting. What also is exciting for Yo is he's going to drop a monastery over here. There's a couple relics that he could maybe snag and get some extra attack. You know, the weakness of having the forward castle and all your military forward is you might be exposed at home. And if Yo can pick off 2 or 3 villagers here, suddenly it's going to look a little bit better. Hera dropping a town center, Hera dropping a town center. Great TC spots. But yeah, wasn't expecting this. This is really intelligent from Yo. Latus attack very quickly. And you're going to see Hera start to focus on his home base now. That's so weird. It's his blacksmith. I keep seeing the blue there. He's got the chakrams on the left side. Yo has to dodge that. In the end, I think it was 2, maybe 3 villagers that went down there. 59 kills and 50 deaths right now. It's pretty crazy. I would love to check the total resources collected. Yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all. Hera way better off. Yo with excess wood, but that's about it. Getting husbandry now, but yeah, now at this point, Hera's going to have the camels. Camels should be the go-to unit now for Hera. Now, if Hera knew about this, maybe the next castle would go over here. I'll be curious to see what his scouting's like over the next couple minutes, because Yo continues to just send Latus right over to Hera's base. And oh my god, he's doubling back in for the woodline. Oh my god, Yo. How's this guy not die? There's been so many times where I thought he was dead in this game, and he continues to prove otherwise. He's also got a demo in here. So if he could tempt Hera to come over here near the shoreline, maybe it's okay. And the Latus take the fight. The chakram throwers are picking off the latest. Granted, there's not many upgrades on the latest. Dang. Hera's blacksmith, if he could research Town Watch, man, Hera would have so much vision from this blacksmith. There's been villagers over here. There's villagers building a TC. I really think Hera would benefit from having Town Watch right now. And okay, there's the tech. Because, like, he's being raided nonstop, right? So it's important for him to see the units when they arrive. I think he can deal with them. He just needs to see it. Wondering if one of these castles is ever going to go down. Because I don't think this is going to Imperial Age anytime soon. So if we have to compare the castle war, Hera's winning because he's had units in the castle here or there. But you see what I mean? Hera gets Town Watch, and now he can see that something was going on over here. But Yo's going to have the TC completed anyways. Look at the difference. So much vision at his base. Should be able to react and see the latest here. Here come the latest. Now, at this point, Yo has 2 relics. So these things have 13 plus 3 attack because he researched 1 attack upgrade and received 2 of those from the relics. But it's that food count. Every time I watch Hera, it's all about that farm count, man. 30 farms right now. Would love to see both players catch up on some of their technologies. And Yo must be realizing now, like, ooh, man, I can't really raid the guy. What do I make here? And does anyone have an answer to that question? What do you make? What unit do you make against the Gurjaras? Sorry, I should have given you more details. Because I don't think Latest is good. I understand they have really high attack and extra melee armor, and you have relics. So I understand it with that aspect, but I think anything you go for as Lithuanians here gets countered by Gurjaras, and I think that's the same with most civilizations. I think a big tech Hera needs to consider, though, is the... I don't know how to say it. It's like Chuk. I think it starts with a T. No, I think it's like TSI. Or am I thinking of that one tennis player? Anyways, I don't know how to say it, but it makes all your units cheaper. I think if he gets that technology, things are going to start looking pretty good for him. Because skirms do not counter the chakram throwers. Skirms do not counter the chakram throwers. Camels completely wreck the latest, in my view. I think chakram, camel, and Lithuanians just die. But I think all civilizations struggle here. Yeah, I think what you're saying, John, is spot on. I think the best Yo is going to get is fully upgraded latest. And he's going to try. I think Hera will have what it takes to counter it if he can get the units out. He will need some camel support here. But also love to see Yo maybe consider a ram here. Since this is his home base. And those chakrams getting eaten alive. Making me look like a fool right now. Though Yo is now 25 villagers behind. Hera obviously knows he needs to make camels. I don't know if he intentionally made a Shravamsha. Okay, camel gets 1 kill. Hera just needs a bit of patience. And okay, this is where it gets interesting. So Hera losing his chakrams might be the most important moment of this game. Because as Hera comes over here with a monastery. Not a monastery. He sees the monastery, but it's not his. It's an enemy religion. Anyways, it's the whole thing. But when he had the chakram throwers, I was thinking a combination of camel chakram would beat latest pike. But as Yo starts to get some raids in, and look how fast the villagers die, as Yo has 3 relics now, and Hera hasn't reacted. Hera's over here or something. Okay, he reacts now. Painful stuff for the Canadian. But yeah, if he doesn't have chakram throwers, then pikeman suddenly is pretty good to combine with the latest. And guys, Yo is taking control. He could kill these villagers. But can he stop this castle from Hera? Camel's having to run home to deal with this. Man, Yo is such a fighter. So many players crumble. But Yo just finds his way back into games. It honestly still astounds me at this point. Because I've been casting the guy for a decade. But his ability to bring games back when I think he should be dead at times. It's one of those things I love to be proven wrong, you know? But yeah, this is tricky, right? This castle now goes up, does hurt some of your economy. But this could be tricky for Hera because he would love to have some chakram throwers. He'd love to have a defensive castle over here, I'm sure. That said, Yo takes a very bad fight. He didn't have quite enough pikemen there. You can see what he was thinking. Now the pikes are going to start to show up. We'll probably see siege from him. He's going for go rams. Hera has to use this castle to get chakram throwers back to this fight. It was a great kill from Yo earlier to kill those chakrams, because now he's able to do a lot. And so Hera is the potential to push here. He's going to take stone and gold, by the way. But he has to defend himself here and also deal with this push. So he's taking a fight that's amazing for him because Yo's out of position. But Yo's out of position because Yo's trying to raid right now. And these two players are incredible. But Hera's got so much military now. He still has the economy lead. And would love to have seen Yo take care of this with a ram. I do like how he continues to loop over here with the latest. And how many latest he's making. He's actually dropping another town center here. What's the eco KD now? The eco KD is 39, 40 to 29. So Hera is definitely lost more. Oh, the demo just didn't pop out in time. Oh, there it goes. Chase him down. Hera sees it. Hera sacrifices one camel. That's funny. It's definitely reached the stage of the game, even though Hera's Vil count is higher, he's having to replenish a lot more. So there is a risk that he won't be floating as much food as we would think if he has to produce villagers out of 4 or 5 TCs all the time. Still waiting to see if the chakram mass can get back up for Hera. He had, what, like 15 before? And Yo just tries his best every time he sees one to whittle it down with the latest. The thing about the chakram is they are very low HP. Guys, is Yo doing this right now? He needs wins in this series, man. If he could get a nice little 2-1 or 3-0 here, suddenly the fear over him getting relegated over the next couple weeks would probably disappear from people's minds. But then again, Hera's economy and his gold control. I actually want to see what Yo can see. Okay, he does actually see a lot over there, so he could take some more gold. Can he stop Hera from dropping a castle in this spot, though? Feels like the only spot that Hera needs to secure right now is right here. And eventually, this is a 50-50 battle. They basically have the same HP, so that's going to be fun to watch. But Yo just realizes he can't engage against this right now. He heads over towards Hera's base. Hera will go for conversion. Won't get one. Might end up getting a second, if life is fair. Okay, yeah, I'm sure Hera's happy about that one. Doesn't get it. Camel's taking an engagement, though. Again, they do 50% more bonus damage. And every time Yo leaves, I can see what he's trying to do, but it's so tricky because the chakram throwers are then here for the pikemen, and he needs more latest. And here, Yo is probably going to get a conversion, because that's just how... Yep, that's monks for you. But Hera is everywhere, guys. And he can defend from this. I don't think it's looking very good for Yo. Hera will drop a castle here. The latest and the pikemen are disappearing. This camel chakram combination combined with the eco from Hera is just simply too strong. Hera will kill off that scout and drop a TC there. And the ram push will do nothing. And now it's 175 population for Hera. It is 130 population for Yo. And Yo is going to ram this down finally. I honestly feel like if he would have sent a ram here, instead of the rams here, Hera might not have had the chakrams to defend this position. Because his other castle, as we see a fight over here, his other castle is on the left. But it wouldn't be that clear to Yo in the moment. It's just something we realize as we watch from afar. Good, still great pickoffs. But these latest, if you don't track them, they will wreck your whole economy. But I don't think that Gurjaras are easily counterable right now. I think from their economy to the additional bonus damage to how cheap their units can be with techs that Hera hasn't even researched yet. I think it's too good. And I think Hera knows that, which is why he picked Gurjaras first. Yo had first pick and picked Lithuanians, and it is not working out. From Feudal Age on the Castle Age, Hera's had the advantage with economy. He's now on the way to the Imperial Age. He's even going to drop another castle here, which would actually mean if Yo doesn't run away with these relics, he will lose those relics as well. And so he's been fighting with Latis that have 13 plus 4 attack, which is insane for Castle Age. So cool to see all the uniqueness in this game, though. From the scout play, the spearman, to the water play, to the land play. Then we have the chakrams and the Latis. Really like to see a bit of unique unit play mixed in. I guess we could also talk about how cheap the chakram is compared to the Latis. Latis, a pretty expensive unit. which is why Yo is still stuck in Castle Age. Also, the fact he's behind 30 villagers is part of it, too. And we'll have Ballistics and Bodkin for Hera, but he's castles everywhere. He knows there's no way Yo can do this. I think Yo is going to tap out any moment now. I think he might wait until he sees that Hera's an imp, because he's trying to go imp. Well, who are we kidding? Actually, his population's 150, and he is Yo, so maybe he won't. I don't know. But he's hoping right now that Yo isn't in the Imperial Age. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, though, but these chakrams are like scorpions, so they do pass-through damage, which is insane when you combine it with something else, because it basically weakens the whole group, and then you have the camels to kill the rest. Yo is relocating his relics, which is wise. Here he's taking losses. Hera's going to be an imp in 5 seconds now. Yo in about 2 minutes. Hera's maintained his eco lead. He's maintained his army count. We're not even seeing the Gurjaras in final form, though. Frontier Guards would give the camels extra melee armor. So not only do they do 50% more bonus damage, but they have +4 melee armor. So they're better against everything else. And then I think the other tech, which makes everything cheaper, is the biggest thing. And that's a Castle Age tech. I'm surprised Hera didn't research it. This blacksmith needs to be destroyed, man. I keep looking at it, thinking it's units from Hera. I actually just played against Hera in a ranked game prior to this, and it was very different, I guess. Like, I was the aggressor in that game, but, like, the thing that Hera does is all Castle Age Yo's been raiding him. He just expands his eco faster than you can kill it. He invites that pressure a little bit. Obviously, in this game, though, opened up with a lot of aggression. I still don't think he has either unique tech. Yeah, and I guess Frontier Guard wouldn't actually be helpful against Latis because they ignore armor. Just talking more in general, right? I think there's a good chance Hera doesn't know how strong the unique tech is. I think if you were to ask him, he would know. Like, he'd be able to guess what at least one of them was. But, you know, I've been seeing players go up 200 or 300 elo, just one tricking Gurjaras, guys. You know, I've been talking to the devs a lot about this Civ. Right? And I think a lot of the pros, like Hera clearly knows how strong it is because he picked it, but they're not even maximizing its potential yet with the tools that it has right now. The Civ is insane. Can Yo hold on here? He has his 3 relics back here. He's going to lose this castle, though. He's now having to defend this castle. He is getting Halb. So Halb would be the answer against the camels here. Now Hera's going to get Elite Chakram Thrower. So it's the chakrams that I think are the key, because if you take care of the Halbs, then the Latis are going to go down. And, ooh, probably the best engagement Yo's going to get, because the Halbs are on the camels, and the Latis are on the chakrams, and it's also not Elite Chakram yet. That fight could have gone so much better for Hera. In the end, I think he'll lose his trebs, he'll lose his units, but he will take out the castle. He will. Oh, it's going to be so close. Quickly, buy stone. Castle will be down for Yo, who's currently badly housed because he lost a castle on the other side. He has 135 pop space out of 155. And he does not have the Halbs over here. Yo taps out. Yo calls the GG. Most created unit for Yo, 101 with Latis. 103 camels there from Hera. I wish Capture Age, and I'll have to ask them, would have more stats on that. Like, I'd love to see how many chakrams in total there were, how many pikemen in total there were. We do have stats, of course, on villagers. What a great game, though. Like, that felt in mid-Castle Age, after Hera dropped the castle, I was like, okay, this game is over. And I was talking a lot, like, about how Gurjaras have answered to X, Y, or Z. But still, I mean, Yo did an incredible job. Like, he gave himself some real chances there with those Vill kills. Let's actually look at the total amount of villagers the whole game for Hera. Where is this? Like, that's a lot of villagers, man. He had to remake a lot. 220 in total that game. And then, you know, ended the game with 136. Yo, he didn't have to spend however much food that would be, whatever the difference is, to recoup his villagers. But he still was so far behind economically. If wood, food, gold, and stone, Hera was ahead. Overall KD may have been close. Hera had the control of that game, and I think he knew it. It was a great scout rush from Hera. I love how he just said, screw your walls, screw your spears, I'll attack them. And he controlled the game. Again, the big question now is Yo going to get wins in the other games? Because that was his very first Civ pick, and he loses with it. And he, so far, only has one win, if you count the first set and then the beginning of this one. I think it's crucial for Yo to get at least one win out of the next 2 games here. This play all 3 is amazing for both if they want to earn some extra cash, because you get $40 a victory. But in terms of the whole group, Yo needs to start getting victories on the board, and Hera is feeling amazing right now. Okay, guys. Well, game number 2, and I was expecting Hera to go with maybe Britons or maybe the Poles from his draft, and he has actually gone instead for the Aztecs. It's a great civilization on Arena, but it's a great civilization on Arena if you're used to that meta, if you love the monks, and if you love the eagles. But guess what, guys? What is this little opening here for Hera? That's funny. I don't know if this is good or bad. Guess what, guys? Yo picked this map because he knows that Hera is not someone who necessarily loves this map. And the red, we have Yo playing as the Bohemians. I would also say that Yo has never been someone that I have thought excels on Arena either, though. Of the top 5, I would say, if you were to say, in no particular order, if we're talking about the quote-unquote top 5 in our scene, you probably got Viper, Leary, Hera, Yo, and then maybe Tato. There's arguments on who that 5th player might be. But anyways, of those 5 I just gave, I would say Hera and Yo would probably be the worst on Arena, though that would imply that Leary is fantastic at it. I just don't think they love it. I think saying bad at is unfair. I think it just comes down to preference and skill and all that good stuff. So when I think about the Bohemians, I normally think about some heavy monk play, eventually into some gunpowder. I think their best combination is probably to go Halb and then Hufnitze, which is their crazy cannons later. But now Aztecs cannot make cavalry units unless they convert someone stable, which is a whole big thing. But yeah, I mean, you do somewhat eliminate a crazy monk play because eagle play can be really good against that. Eagles resist conversion. And then you do also kind of eliminate the Halb and Hufnitze combination because Halbs counter horsemen. And Aztecs don't get horsemen. So honestly, the more I think about the Aztec choice from Hera, the more I like the choice. We'll see how they play it, obviously. Maps seem to have a little bit more space than what we've seen in some of the other generations in this event so far. You've got a 2 gold spawn inside of their base, and then 1 stone, so that's fairly standard. Definitely allows more of a boom approach with how much space they have in here. But I really don't know if this area is good or bad for Hera. Imagine him building a TC here, and then there being trebs and cannons on the other side later. This kind of sucks, because he can't fully saturate his gold. Like, that is actually really, really annoying for him. I would say that Hera might send us a message later and say, yo, look at your map script, because, again, I don't expect that to be a big issue for him, but it could be. Sorry, guys, just had to go to my other PC, get a couple things up that I accidentally closed. Oh, wow, I closed literally everything. I don't have my streamer dashboard. I do have some of the notifications and whatnot for subs, but okay. Pro streamer over here. Pro streamer. So maybe what we see from Yo is more of a defensive style. And maybe he's going to be concerned that the Aztec player is going to go for monks. Now, when the Bohemians first came out, their monasteries were 75 wood, which was just ridiculous. And I'm glad that the devs changed that. Now it's normal cost for the monasteries. So I'm thinking as these scouts are just saying hi to each other, and Hera's scout is running away, or Yo's scout is running away. Yeah, thinking that you would favor the Aztecs in a monk war because they both have the same cost on their monasteries, but then Aztec monks get more HP as they research more technologies. It is funny, though, because how much HP your monk has doesn't actually matter in a monk v monk war. It's more about how much faith you have and what the RNG is like, but still. I would like to see Hera prioritize some map control here. What players will do with Cav civilizations is they'll go for light Cav. I like to see Hera, instead of doing that, add a barracks and go for eagles and monks just to get the relics. Because 33% more gold on each relic is a pretty big bonus that Aztecs I don't think can just forget about. Plus, holding map control is always good because if you just sit back, they could always come forward with siege or something. We'll see. Ito, good question. He says, is the Max and Fat Dragon playing in Titan League? I want to see them return to form. Vivi is probably one of the favorites to get promoted into this league, Platinum, after this season. He is playing in Gold. And then Max, to my knowledge, did not sign up. I don't think Max signed up at all. So a bit of a disappointment there. I think, like, the idea of the Titans League is to give players more opportunities. But, you know, part of that is giving players more opportunities for prize pool, more aspirations to be able to get more money off the game, right? Like, at the very least, we want more people to have a part-time job in playing Age of Empires. They can spend more time training and doing things like that, right? So that was my hope. I'm disappointed. I think Max is, I don't know what's going on exactly with his life, but I know he's pretty busy outside of Age of Empires. I think he's got a job and whatnot, so maybe just didn't feel like he could compete. He does not play 1v1 tourneys much at all anymore, correct, as Robo says. It's been a while since he has, but Vivi's back. Vivi had this whole thing, as did other players like Hera, for example, where they said they were done with AoE2, and you're going to play AoE4, and then Vivi came back to AoE2 a couple months later, so good to have Vivi back. And Vivi's been playing really good as well. Yeah, it does seem like these relic spawns are very beneficial for Hera. I think what it is there's less overall space in the middle, and that leads to the relics being closer to some of the players. I mean, it's not that crazy. There's 5, right? So one player is always going to have some type of small advantage. This one's closer to Yo, this one's closer to Yo, but Hera does have some right next to his front door, which could affect how he plays things as well, right? Like, he could play more defensive if he feels like he doesn't need to invest a lot to get these relics. Just watched the prediction video. Didn't see Rubenstock there either. Yeah, Rubenstock also didn't sign up. Again, I don't know, like, people's reasons for things, but I do know that there are people who aren't able to commit the time or don't have interest. Like, sometimes you need to weigh the pros and cons as well. Like, someone like Rubenstock is probably not as good as Max. So I don't see Rubenstock having the skill to ever get promoted to Platinum. So, you know, if he's got other things going on, he might say, well, I don't know if I want to do a league. Other players have been all over it, though, which has been awesome. But I guess if you're a fan of the Finns, maybe you're missing out on some names. Okay, so notice how Hera has not gone for a barracks. He's going for the eco approach, so he's going for the wooden farm upgrade, adding some farms. Very fast gastle time here for both. And okay, there's the barracks for Hera. Yo, meanwhile, has gone for the stable approach. Not something that's normal with the Bohemians in other situations, but he simply just wants to have scouts out there. Makes sense to me. I do feel as though he's going to struggle with the scout numbers, though. Like, he is really at the limit right now on what's possible. I don't see him affording light cap for some time at the very least. Let's put it that way. I hate to be nitpicky, but I think if you get the gold mining upgrades for free and you don't have a market, sending 4 on gold is way too much. Again, it seems nitpicky, but you have the Feudal Age gold mining upgrade in for free already, and you're going to get the Castle Age one. I honestly think you should have 2, and then you should have 2 of those villagers farming, and then the 2 villagers that wouldn't be on farms, I guess if you're doing the math right, would go to wood or something. But again, we'll see. Hera, I think, more balanced in terms of how much gold he has, which allows him to invest a little bit more into other areas. But I'm nitpicking because on Arena, that's all you've got, right? That's all you've got. Also, is nitpicky a phrase that makes sense to most of you guys? I honestly don't even know. I know what it means, and I know what situations to use it in. But now that I've seen someone type it out in my chat, I could see how that would be confusing for people who might not be native English speakers. Basically, it means it's like, if you don't know what it means, being nitpicky is like, well, just being picky. I could just say being picky. I honestly have never even Googled it. I don't even know. It does make sense? Okay, yeah, it's just a weird phrase. One of those things I just never thought about, you know? Why not just say picky? Okay, so the scouts are looking for the monk, and he's actually created a knight here, yo, which is very rare and very risky. And I do not agree with that. Also, Hera sniped a monk with his eagle. Very big difference in execution so far. Hera, able to kill a monk. And he's going to snag this relic as well. And Yo's scouts just have to run away. Job not done for them. This eagle's going to try and make its way back. Should go down. Yo would normally get a block in on that. He's trying to, I think. There you go. Good kill there for Yo. KD 1-1. Obviously, one eagle's gone down and then one monk's gone down. And we do have fervor now for Yo. And yeah, I was being picky. Yo's eco looks fine. Fervor does also benefit the Bohemian villagers, which I think is a good thing here. Picky equals fussy. Nitpicky is fussy with small details. Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. Well, thank you, guys. I'm glad that I'm not confusing you. Especially the audience who... I mean, I guess, like, a lot of you guys have some, you know, pretty solid understanding of English before you found me, most likely, right? But still, it's like, as someone who does know other languages and all their phrases and whatnot, I can imagine it's not easy sometimes. Yo, Werner, thank you for the 8 months. Appreciate it. Hera's on 2 relics right now. Again, we talked about how close these ones are. He'll be happy with 3. That's as even a split as it gets. 3 versus 2 on Arena, but that would obviously turn the tides towards him. He doesn't have Sanctity yet. I talk about Sanctity a lot. I would love to see Sanctity more frequently from pros, especially with Aztecs when you get plus 5 HP on your monks after monk techs. And then Sanctity gives you more HP. So you would have survived there, Hera. Now he's going for a conversion, and he might get that one. Yep, that's a conversion for him. And now he can just run back. Adding knights is really never a thing, but I think the reason Yo did it was because he knew there would be eagles. And scouts don't trade that well against eagles. So again, I'll circle back to Hera picking Aztecs, and I really like the pick from him. Also, love the way his economy is shaping up right now. All the relics are now on monasteries. Yo has been pretty heavy on stone, pulling some villagers off now, but clearly saving up for a castle. I think Yo's approach is going to be forward castle. Maybe not, the initial castle might not be forward, but I think he's going to go castle drops into finishing this fast. I think if the longer the game goes, the better Aztecs are. Yo, they don't have stable options, but I actually do think they're more well-rounded. Because Bohemians, half their barracks doesn't really apply in this matchup. It's mainly just ranged units, monks, and then some cannons later on. Listening to hours and hours of baseball broadcasts prepared me well for listening to T90. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Why baseball broadcasts? I mean, I like baseball, and I enjoy watching baseball every now and then. It's relaxing. I guess that's what you're saying. But don't I supply... Come on. They're not the most informed and interesting commentators out there. Now I'm offended. Okay, so if the expectation is that Hera is going to go... is going to go for cannons, I would love to see Hera consider a second monastery. And what do you worry about? Like, would you go monk, arbalest, and skirmisher if you're Aztecs, possibly? I wouldn't mind monk eagle, but then if gunpowder comes out from the Bohemians, you need something for that. But I think monks are going to be the answer to converting the big cannons, the big boys, right? The Hoofnitzes, and then I think the skirms would be the answer to the tiny guns. Now we're just simplifying everything we say. T90 is much better than baseball commentators. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I could see what baseball and AoE2 have in common. They both can't actually be considered sports. Because you don't move a lot. Sorry, baseball fans. I like baseball. It's just a joke I had to make. But also, they're very slow and a bit more strategic in some ways, I guess. Yeah, but the older I get, the more I've actually been getting back into baseball. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but I just need more relaxed sports in my life instead of the intense stuff all the time. And Hera's on the way to Imp. All right. Yo needs to run out of here with his scouts. He's probably curious what Hera's going to be up to here. I'm also curious on what Hera's going to be up to. There is a university for Yo, so Bohemians can research chemistry in Castle Age. So it's going to give Yo a pretty big lead to build up towards those cannons. He is making some Hussite wagons here. I actually forget, do you need to get redemption to convert the Hussite wagon because the Hussite wagon is considered siege? It would make sense that you do. Forgive me for blanking on that. I think you would have to. And maybe that's why Yo is moving out here. But I have to say, guys, the thing that Hera's not doing right now that I think the arena experts would do is he's not making more monks. It's so nice for healing. It's so nice for conversions. You have to have like 5 or so monks minimum, I feel. The guy isn't even getting any upgrades. I think not making monks could be Hera's downfall. He's going to see the wagons, and I think in his mind, he's going to say, oh, now I need monks. But they take a long time to create. Right now, I think he's just going to build up towards Atlatl skirms, which are fantastic, don't get me wrong. But how do you counter the bombard cannons, Hera? You need to have monks. I like the archery ranges. I want more monks. Finally, he adds some monasteries. Now, this is one of the rare moments where I've thought about this a couple minutes ahead of a pro player. You know, sometimes I, get something right here or there, but I think the potential weakness for Hera is understanding the arena flow. Let's see, though. He's figured it out. I think seeing these wagons made him think about it. Yo's still very curious, but I like the positioning of the castle. He needs to have a siege workshop to research Hufnitsa, though, if that's his plan. He's going to make hand cannons for now. No siege workshop, so we might not see any cannons. Those you cannot do cast. Okay, listen, all right? I played Hera earlier today, and I'll have you know, I let him win to build up his confidence for this series, because I knew he needed it, all right? I wasn't even really trying, all right? And if I was, it was all Civlin anyways. Everyone knows Mongols can't beat Berbers. Okay, Siege Workshop for Yo. Now, the Hufnitsa upgrade has to come in the Siege Workshop, and it's also really expensive. So if you're seeing that research right away, that normally means you don't have anything else. Yo has said, I need to have hand cannons out. Hera is making monks. And now he's making those skirms and catching up on upgrades there. This is going to be a really important area for Hera, because these are his stones. And he can't take any additional stone in the middle of the map right now. Like, this is pretty comfortable for Yo by comparison. Right. There's a Treb. It kills me that Hera... Maybe he does have redemption, forgive me. He does have redemption, so it doesn't kill me. He's got the text then. He's got block printing, 12 range, and redemption. Trebs can't be converted from range. You have to get right up next to it, so the Trebs would be fine. But the cannons and the wagons here, they can be converted from range. This is the composition that I think is very hard for Yo to stop. It would force Yo into a unit that Bohemians aren't very good with, and that's the stable units. And so he's going light cav simply to snipe the monks right now. Now let's see if Hera catches a glimpse of any of this. He might sacrifice the knight, honestly, just so he can see stuff. Also, would be really cool for him to maybe just send the knight over to the stone or something. Arena's all about the snowball. Okay. Hera's probably thinking Hufnitsa's on the way. Yo is putting his food into light cav, and he's hiding it right now. But that bombard cannon has to get out of there so quickly. Oh, man. Okay, couple hits. Not bad. Also, the knight just switched sides just to die. Not enjoying life. Another Treb. Yo is repairing the castle. Hard to see. And now the light cav arrive. And now the light cav are here. Will this be enough to take care of the monks? He'll actually be very good against the skirmishers as well. Still, Yo is missing so many upgrades. But you know what else is going to kill the skirms, guys? Would be the bombard cannons. Where are the bombard cannons? The bombard cannons aren't here. Yo doesn't have the bombard cannons. Hera took out the castle. Hera's fine. Hera's fine. His monks have 65 HP right now. They're more HP. These old men with robes have more HP than the light cav on horses do. And man, Yo has to delete. And now he's just now getting Castle Age armor. These skirms and the Castle Fire will deal with the Light Cav no problem. Yo, who picked Lithuanians first in the first game, thinking that would be the answer, died pretty badly to the Gurjaras. And then he picked Arena as a home map, and he's gone for the Bohemians, which is not a bad pick. But Hera has gone for the classic Aztecs, and these the Bohemian Cav are just so bad. It's just not good. Also, Yo, delete your trebs right now. Delete your trebs. I know it sucks, and I know it's painful to delete them. Oh, no. What is happening? Yo, you just donated siege to the enemy. Hera now has 5 trebuchets instead of 3. And what a great spot for Hera. It's funny, I actually think the Bohemian tech tree is worse than Aztecs, even though Aztecs cannot make stables. It's such a ridiculous statement, but I think that they're able to accomplish so much more. We have Heresy now for Yo, so that's 1,000 gold. That's 1,000 gold, so if his units get converted, they die instead of switching sides. But honestly, I don't even think that's the issue. I mean, unless you're talking trebs, which was a big mistake. I think the big issue is just you can't kill any of units from Hera. Hera could obviously switch in some units that are a little better against Light Cav, like Arbalest, which he's doing now. He continues to push forward. Yo is going to loop in to try and take an engagement. This is a good opportunity for him to kill Vils. But how can he kill Hera's army? I think without Bloodlines and without Final Armor, you cannot. I think Light Cav without those upgrades are just so bad. And Aztec Skirmishers are pretty darn good as well, right? That's obviously half of it. Now, if you take out the monks, that's a huge help, right? Because then you can maybe use your siege again. And there goes Yo, and Yo kills all the monks. So that's not bad for Yo. It is bad for Yo, though, that he's lost the monastery. And it's still bad for Yo that he just can't kill the units. I don't think Hera even needs monks anymore. Yo's not going to be able to make that many more cannons. And if Yo loses this game, things are looking bleak for his situation in the group, guys. Obviously, 3 more rounds to play. He went down 2-1 in the first round. He's going to be down 2 games, it looks like, here. Will be desperate for a response in the next game, which will be on Arabia. Just desperate to be able to get a win in that one. If he were to lose this game, though, and even win the next, he's had 2 points from the first 6 potential. And you've got to think other players are going to be getting better results than that. You have Hera, obviously, as one of the favorites. I do have him favorite to win the group. I did also say in my predictions, I think Hera's going to be the most motivated and the favorite to maybe even win the first season beyond the group stage. So that's how high my aspirations are for him. Yeah, Hera loops over here to take out care of this castle. And Yo has to just move away with his cannon. It's the right idea, but he just cannot move out with his cannons. This army's just too strong for Hera. Would love to see Hera snag these relics. He might be making more monks for that right now. If I were to be critical of anything Hera's done here, it's maybe just be a little sloppy with that group of monks earlier. But I mean, Yo is just... somehow his population's at 170, but I just don't see how this is ever going to go anywhere for him. Well, the thing is, I understand why Yo has tried to go stable. Because I think Hera's composition is actually so unbelievably tough for Yo if you wanted to go for the cannons and hand cannons. The skirms would take care, and there goes Yo. Yo tries to take the relic as he's taking out the trebs too. Good stuff. But yeah, you know, the monks would have taken care of his bombard cannons, and then the skirms would have taken care of his hand cannons. So Hera's play is kind of forced Yo into the stable. The problem is Bohemians just don't have good stable units, so I think it's just a really good choice to pick Aztecs and a really good decision to play it as Hera has played it. And he's also going to switch into Eagles now because there's not many hand cannons out, so he knows he can maybe use Eagles effectively against the skirms from Yo. Or maybe to get some raids in here or there. I mean, if Hera were to lose this castle, it's not the end of the world. And he's just going to take out this monastery so Yo can't snag the relics again. It feels like Elite Eagle is all that's needed to close this game out. Indeed. And there are a few hand cannons back there, but the Trebs are going to be gone, which means the position is held. And Yo just has nowhere to go. He can't take any of the resources on the map. Even if these 2 relics just sit here and no one's able to take them, Hera still has 3 and Yo has 0. And Hera making it look easy here. Taking the Gurjaras in game number 1 and playing like a beast. Taking the Aztecs in game number 2 and playing like a beast. And there's the relic heist. Monks are heading out of here. And again, you know, looks like score will be 2-0. We will be going to Hera's home map. It's always all 3 games played. Hera's got to be loving life right now. So far, Hera's 5-0, has not lost a game in T90 Titans League. Game number 1, maybe you can say, okay, Dragon Star is maybe lower than some of the other big names he could face. But against Yo, to be up 2-0 and to go into Arena and play like you're the biggest clown out there, pretty solid stuff from him. I'm trying to think, what more can Yo do? I think adding the Knight in Castle Age was too risky. I didn't like adding the Knights. I don't know. It's really tough. I think maybe you have to be more aggressive and you have to go with higher farm count to make more light cav. Maybe that's it, you know, to deny the relics. But that I think we could question as well because the relics were fairly close to Hera's base. I think, okay, there's one thing I can say, and this is 100% certain, okay? Like, this is definitely one thing that Yo needs to do better. He needed to have upgrades. Because he showed light cav when he had feudal age upgrades. I understand he doesn't get bloodlines. I understand he doesn't get the final armor. I understand that the Aztec choice and how Hera played it forced Yo into something that's not ideal. But he needed to at least have this armor upgrade. He was losing so many light cav to skirms, and this is before Hera could switch into Arbalest and before Hera really knew it was going to be cav. So I think that was it. Ultimately, though, domination. Yo had more food and wood and even stone. Didn't matter. Hera had some crazy gold count there. Hera didn't really even spend gold that much. Like, the guy made monks and siege with his gold. I guess he made the eagles near the tail end, but skirm and monk was the perfect choice from Hera. If he did not have skirms with his monks, or if he did not have monks with his skirms, he wouldn't have fared that well in early Imperial Age. Wooden skirm hand cannon, counter skirm eagle. Not really. No, because hand cannons have to sit far back. They have no control. They're also 40 HP. And also, all I would do, if you're making hand cannons and skirms against me as Aztecs, I would simply just go skirm monk. Because the Aztec skirms are stronger, and skirms would beat your skirms and also beat your hand cannons. And then you would have to mix in the cannons, like the big old boys, the Hufnitze, and then I'd just convert them. Really, really, really tricky stuff. Love to see Aztecs working there, though, because Aztecs are not something you see every day in 2022 on Arena. And alrighty, folks, here we are. Game number 3. We were just talking about the ramifications of this in the long term. I think for Hera, regardless of what happens this game, he's probably going to be fine. Obviously, we'll need to get results in later rounds, but we've mainly been talking about Yo, because Yo got 1 win from his first round. If he gets 3-0'd here, he needs to get some strong results over the next 3 weeks. He can probably never lose a play all 3 to have a chance. And then, I mean, it does depend on a lot of other results, but I think he even needs a 3-0 mixed in there. So will lead to some crazy intense moments next week and the week after that, and of course the week to follow. Yo is playing as the Hindustanis, a civ that we have been seeing a lot on Arabia, but we've also been seeing Chinese. The way we do our civ draft is there's 1 global ban for players, and then they can pick 5 civs. It's very simple. We didn't want to restrict players too much. And then after the group stage, we will actually change how the drafting works. So at that point, it's like, okay, X, Y, or Z civilizations are really good in this spot, so let's implement a few more bans and whatnot to also give greater variety of play for the viewers, but also for the players to practice things more. So I think Hera played Chinese in the first round as well in Arabia. Looked very capable and very strong up against Dragon Star. What's going on with his start here? Why does he have so much on wood right now? I guess it's fine. And yeah, he's going to bring in his elephant, kill the elephant, and he's got his lumber camp here. Map-wise, both players are definitely going to have the potential to wall. You tend to have 3 wood lines near your base on this version of Arabia. For Hera, he's got 2 on the front. And that could hurt or help him, depending on how this game goes. I think for Yo, his base is easier to figure out. Having more spaces between the wood lines is actually better for him, I think. For Hera, this might be more awkward than helpful, like we said. Back gold, though. Back berries. Here you have the scouts fighting. And, oh, man. Is anyone going to bail on this? Or are they both going to YOLO it? Because only one player can win. Who will win it? And, oh, Yo goes back. Yo runs away. So it's 6 versus 9. Nice. Why did Hera not chase there? Maybe Hera didn't realize that he got that final hit there. But, yeah, that's actually good for Yo and for Hera because they both need scouting, obviously. Now, here's a question for you guys. Apart from the HP... is it better for Chinese or better for Hindustanis to have weak scouts out? It's always something, and I was thinking about making a video on this. It's always something that I talk about, but I don't really stress it as much as I should when we're talking about Chinese and Mayans. I think having a weak scout when playing against the Chinese or Mayans is a really, really big deal. But also, I guess you could make an argument here that now that scout for Hera won't be able to deny any walls. That's what it comes down to. So the thing is, Chinese, they always get loom at the start, and same with Mayans. So their villagers are strong, and they would win a 1v1 fight against the scout. Now, if you bring in like 2 militia and a scout, and you can see Yo's making 2 militia, 3 militia actually. If you bring them in, with a full HP scout, you can actually kill villagers. But if you've just got 2 militia and a weak scout, usually villagers will not die, which is why I stress that point. Also, Chinese and Mayans do rely on their walls a lot. But I will say that 3 militia running forward already without Hera seeing anything might surprise Hera. And Hera's going to see that barracks. And because he sees the mill and the barracks, he might not know. What I would do, and I'm sure he's done as well, is he can realize there's not as much food on that bush as there would normally be. And he should wall this. And you should see that that mill's recent because the berry bushes have barely been taken. Or he might be thinking, well, he has a weak scout. He'll do nothing. And no way. They'll get trapped. No way. Hera getting caught out. And the 3 militia will find value. In the end, it's just 1 villager. The other ones were pulled to the side. But great stuff there. Also, Hera lost his scout, guys. So Hera lost his scout over here at the same time. Yo needs this. Yo's going to click up to feudal age behind this as well. Chinese do start with 2 additional villagers. So it's definitely not a situation where you're dead. He's going to be in feudal age soon as well. But I think what will be annoying for Hera is he was counting on these villagers working. So he doesn't actually have a barracks yet. And his barracks will not be completed before he's in feudal. So whatever feudal age attack he's going for will be delayed. Also, Hindustani villagers are cheaper. Yo is going to be on gold. So Yo could actually upgrade these things to man-at-arms. Great stuff from Yo there. It's interesting. I would let my confidence be affected by the scout thing that I was talking about. And I'm not sure I would ever go militia. It's so funny. I feel like if I go militia after what has happened, I never kill a villager there. And it's Hera, right? So you would think, okay, he's going to be fine. But, you know, it wasn't fine. He's still much better than a lot of players would be in this spot. Yo, actually adding militia number 4. Now, another thing Hera should possibly sense is he maybe needs to get some walls down here, right? This is still just asking for trouble if Yo ends up getting to feudal age. Not something that most players can do. Like Yo's trying to pull him back and just idle him and look for an opportunity to kill Vils. The confidence to just sit there. This is the stuff only like the top 10 or top 15 will do. Now there's 4 militia. But you do not want to take a fight. What? You do not want to take a fight to kill a Vil, do you, yo? Do you? He does? I guess that at the end of the day, that's good. I was thinking you're not going to get value from Man-at-Arms if you lose your units beforehand. He's now getting Man-at-Arms for 2. And now there's another one. But how many are actually going to be here? What is happening, man? What is happening? I can't tell if this is good for Yo, or bad for Yo, or great for Hera, or what. I actually think that is amazing for Hera, all things considered. Because, amazing is the wrong word. Obviously, he took some losses. But if you think about how many units Yo made, he wanted those things. He wanted that to be 4 or 5 Man-at-Arms. Instead, that turned into wasted Man-at-Arm upgrade. And now Hera's got an army to counterattack. A little more patience there could have been utilized, and then Hera would still be at home, and Hera would have to defend from that. If Hera's able to get through, there could be big problems for Yo, but Yo is full walling his base like a maniac, and I'm checking. I don't see any holes. And Hera will be disappointed not to break through there. Wow. Yeah, he did cancel Man-at-Arms, I think. Yeah, at the last second, I think he did. Which is good, right? Which is very good. Did get the wood upgrade and the farm upgrade, so his eco will be solid in that regard. Hera's eco will arguably be better, though, being Chinese. And Hera has scouts, and Hera will now add a range to mix in some pressure onto the walls. So I think Yo's going to be very defensive here for a while. And I don't know. Actually, I do know. I bet you Yo markets, and I think he goes all in. I think he's going to use all this extra gold to just buy food and try and go up to Castle Age faster. Probably would be my decision in this spot. Because, I mean, you could always add a range as well. Don't get me wrong. The weak scouts there. Hera sees it, and Hera said, what? Okay, hold on. What? Okay. 1 HP? What? One more time. This has to be a bug. Okay, so the first one hits. 3 HP. Boom. 2 damage. Scout is not even moving. Does that go under his arm? I I don't understand what just happened. I guess archers aren't completely accurate at this point. We'll catch up now. But somehow that scout survived, man. Yo is adding the archer range, is adding a blacksmith as well. And Hera's going to be mixing in archers, so it's good for him to have army behind. Right into his pocket, right? Like, the arrow went through his body. That was ridiculous. That's why you research thumb ring, ladies and gents. Hera's eco looking pretty good. He doesn't know about the archer range there. You know, everyone wants to talk about the Gulam, and rightly so with the Chinese. Or not the Chinese, sorry, the Hindustanis, but you would need to get a good boom going. You would need your stone secured to do that. The stone's back here, and Yo's not taking it. Yo adding the second range. Yo about to click up. I was wrong on the whole market thing, by the way. That's just showing my inexperience. Villagers are pretty cheap. He's going to figure this out. And that scout kills another scout from Hera. This scout has 2 kills on enemy scouts, and he's been on, what, 6 HP max over the last couple minutes? Now even on 1 HP. And they both click up to Castle Age at around the same time. Now, there is something important that starts to happen here. So, Yo's farms, at least all the farms pre-horse collar, they either already reseeded or will start to reseed. You can see there's 2 here that are low. For Hera, all of his farms are horse collar farms. Every time there's a reseed, he has more food on the farm. Oh, wait. He didn't have horse collar. Oh, never mind. Forget what I just said. It's going to be a similar thing for both players, I guess. If anything, it's better for Yo because he did get horse collar later. My bad. Normally off a scout build, you have horse collar, but he just researched it, so I'm stupid. As I was trying to explain it, I was looking at the food on the farms, and I was like, wait a second. Honestly, really important here for Hera that he doesn't reseed all these farms if he's going archers. I think he doesn't play with auto farm on as default, but I'm not even exaggerating. It would be really important for him to have the wood for town center and also for ballistics. This is where I actually have to start removing auto farm. I'm lazy and I have it on auto, But when I hit 2K3, I turned it off of auto, and I would toggle it on in the mid game because of all the wood that you need in this stage of the game. And I should be able to see with capture age. So he doesn't have it on. He doesn't have it on. Okay, yeah, so neither of them do. Yo, must be expecting something from Hera, but he hasn't found anything yet. He doesn't really know. He lost his scout out there somewhere recently. And Hera drops the TC. Yeah, you can hotkey it, but you can also set a setting in the game. I love how Yo always goes for houses instead of palisades, by the way. It just gives him so much extra time. But you can set as the setting in the game for it to be default or not. That TC for Hera is in a great spot. And this Spearman's here just to distract. And Hera's going to focus down that house. Bodkin Arrow coming in a little late for him, which gives Yo some opportunities to use his Bodkin Arrow. Yo is sneaking a force, guys. Oh, man. Yo is sneaking a force. Will Hera spot this? Hera must be so confused because he saw 2 crossbows. Oh, the sneak. We used to call this China style. Look, and Hera knows something's going to sneak because he's getting Town Watch for vision. But the town center there looks really bad about now. And Yo waits, too. Yo gets in close enough where if Hera reacts, he's still going to take more losses. Great move from Yo. Again, he needs this win, man. He needs this win so badly. And what a great move from him there. Obviously, still could have some army problems if he ends up losing his force. There's a TC from Hera that will shoot some of these crossbows. And Hera has brought his army back. I think Hera will actually end up being able to rebound from this at the end of the day. But it was a sneaky move from Yo, and that's classic, man. That's classic. Those Chinese players for years have been relying on their walls and sneaks. But Yo, of course, has all the tools. Doesn't always need to do that. Yo killed 7 villagers in this game. Hera's killed 0. Hera, though, 3 TCs. It will be 3 TCs as well for Yo. And he's already going to stone. So he's gone siege and he's gone skirm. So he's just going to defend from the archers. And I think he's now going to go... I think he just plays defense into Gulams, right? He's sending a lot of villagers to stone. So he definitely wants to rush a castle down. It'll be interesting to see Gulams in action against the Chinese. I think this might be the first time I've seen the new Hindustanis against the Chinese. It's worth reminding you guys that the Chinese are considered the best pure 1v1 Arabia civilization for many years now. They are, for the last 2 years, we'll say. You have probably had Aztecs and Mayans, the other civs that people would think about. Player like Yo would probably say Britons is in there too because of how he plays it. Viper as well with Britons, I think, is just really tough to stop. But Indians weren't included in that. Indians were definitely still up there, but ever since they become the Hindustanis, they received so many bonuses. Many people think too many bonuses. And one of the big inclusions that's really made this civ scary now is the Gulam. An anti-archer unit. It's basically like an Eagle Warrior. But if you think about the Eagles and how they work, you know, the weakness of having Mayans or Aztecs or Incas is they don't have a stable. So Hindustanis have cheaper villagers, which is a great eco bonus. And they have a fully upgraded stable to go Hussar. And then if you're going to make knights against Eagles, they've got camels too. Not to mention the hand cannons and then their unique techs. It's just a really, really, really good civilization. Yeah, Vikings were considered top 5 as well. That's a very good point. I think they probably are not anymore after they've lost Thumbring. But I think Vikings, with certain players, with the Archer eco play, kind of similar to what we're seeing from Hera, always have been very strong. I have to say, man, Hera's trying. He has wandered all around Yo's base, and everywhere he goes, he sees a freaking house. It's crazy. He even is walling this off, too. And he'll find an extra gold back here, which I'm sure he'll be excited to see. Hera's also paranoid about some type of sneak again, so I like this from him. Just patrolling around with scouts, adding some house walls of his own. We are definitely going to see the Imperial Age here, guys. Yo with 700 food, 1,300 gold. Hera with 300 food, 1,300 gold. His villagers are not cheaper, so I think he might buy some food here. And Yo even adding another TC. Yo's economy is going to be insane. It is going to be nuts. And this means he doesn't even need to rush out to take this gold, which he might normally do. He could just rely on this neutral gold for a while. Hera's got a neutral gold down here, by the way, so he could lock that down with something. But yeah, Hera wants to click up to the Imperial Age and rush this in early Imperial Age with Arbalest. And must be missing a building right now. I'm just waiting on the university. What do you guys think about Hera's decision to not pressure Yo's base with siege? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. I think there's been enough times where Hera has probably tried that, and then Yo defends from the siege, and then outbooms him, and then gets to imp faster, and then kills Hera, right? So it's a really tricky one. But personally for me, if you know his gold is here, and you know this gold is here, granted, he's unfortunate that Yo has this gold. I really feel like pressuring with the Siege Workshop would have made a lot of sense, right? Because your opponent's only gone Skirm defense. Yo didn't even have to make many mangonels. I would have loved to have seen a crossbow siege push here. But, you know, every time I try that, I just lose the siege battle, and then they have more eco than me, and then I die. So, it's... I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer, because it does depend on how the execution would go. Now, here's the next thing. What does Hera do against Gulams? The stupid thing about this civ is that, okay, so they have camels, right? Camels. Gold unit that counters knights. But they also get halberdier, which some civs don't have, by the way. They don't get camels. And then they also get amazing skirms. They get fully upgraded skirms, too. You don't even need the Gulam. You could just go skirms. And that's what he's doing. He shows up with skirms. Hera's like, I don't know what he's going to make here. But whatever he makes, it's not going to be easy for me. So, I don't know. Does Hera go... I guess Hera goes into stable units now because he sees the skirms, which seems like the natural move. And we will have Gulams behind this anyways. I think what I liked about the skirms is it gave him a little bit of map control. And now, actually, I think he'll stop making Gulams. I think he just goes into stable units. Upon seeing the knight anyways, I think he's maybe going to think about going into... Getting a little wasteful here, actually. Let's see. God, Hera's got to be so confused with what he's seeing right now. But he's got to be somewhat happy, at least, that the skirms are dying before they're upgraded. That knight is getting a lot of value here. I don't know if I like how that fight had gone there for Yo. Still getting skirm upgrades, but he didn't kill that much there. That one knight has pushed him the whole way back. You could say the same about Chinese. They can counter most civs. Very fair. Yep, very fair. You know, I think it's not worth having yet another conversation on how I think, you know, there's a lot of bonuses involved here with the Hindustanis and one too many, but I'll shut up. I'm always fighting that because it is who I am. I like to talk. Yeah, okay, so now Hera sees the skirms have upgrades. And I still, again, I'd be a little confused. But I think overall, I've seen Hera go Arbalest like have enough. I think it could work. Depending on how the engagements go, obviously. Yo, going over here to get relic number 3. Zico's untouched right now, and he's very well defended. Hera moving in with the light cav, moving in with the skirms, taking some fights. The fights are going pretty good for him so far. But the castle fire from Yo will kill the light cav. In the end, he needs to back up here, Hera. Just the confidence to move in next to castle fire and next to the skirmishers is amazing. But he doesn't see the final armor upgrade in yet. I don't know the number, but Yo has lost too many skirms for my liking, sorry, over the last couple minutes. Feels like this hill is so important. Hera's going to hold it for now. He was very late to stone this game. Would have loved to have seen him go to stone earlier. There's the stone miners. I guess some of them are also stuck right now. But it feels like a castle here would be so important if he could get a treb push going. And look, he's going to go champion. Which I guess, if you think about it, I think he's doing it because he's scared of Gulam. But champion isn't actually the worst if you're expecting camels and skirmishers. Champion might actually be one of the best plays. That's a great call in the moment. Because he saw the stables. He's thinking it will be either Hussar, which I wouldn't put past Hera if he was in this position. Hussar or camels. I remember Hera was really stubborn in a game a couple months ago with Chinese, and he just wanted to go light cav Arbalest regardless. Like what Hera's doing here. He's attacking on the side to distract Yo. And now Yo wants to take the hill. And Yo, I think, can take this hill. I believe he can. He's going to send camels this way to deal with the light cav. Oh, man. I think Hera clicked Man-at-Arms, though. He never went to Longsword. Chinese also not getting supplies kind of hurts. Hindustanis also have the best hand cannons. Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Again, like, there's... The Civs got everything. And then there's Civs out there who are like, why not me? Why not me? But the problem for Yo is he's almost had too many options. He hasn't been pushing out. He's been sitting back a lot. And there is a risk in that against a player like Hera who can raid and who is light cav prepared already. And this is a good fight for Hera. He will take the hill. This is a very good engagement. He's taking more cost-effective engagements. Yo is just expecting to outlast Hera. Hera has to try and deny that possibility. Hera's Arbalest sniping what they can, sniping the monks, sniping the camels. Has to back up towards the hill and be careful here with his light cav. Still the light cav are trading against the skirms. There is a castle going up here for Yo. That's a nice thing. Hera might see some of that as he's making outposts on the sides. But now you get the Trebs out if you're Hera, and suddenly, who cares how many options the Hindustanis have? This is the most important area of the map. You've got the stables here, the relics are here, the castles are here. And Hera can do some incredible things with this. Does he see this castle? He does. I don't know if he'll do anything about it, but he does know about it. Yo just took so much time to decide on what he wanted to make. This is like, you ever go, like the Hindustanis are like your favorite restaurant. Unless if you're like me and you order the same thing every time. But, you know, there's the rare restaurant where you like everything on the menu. You just don't know what to order. And then suddenly you try and order everything, and you can't even eat it all because Hera's in your base with light cav and Arbalest, and you're dead. It's a horrible, horrible experience when that happens. The Trebs continue. The upgrades continue to fly in for Hera. Yo, still waiting for an opportunity to push up this hill. He hasn't maxed out his upgrades on his stable units yet. Hera hasn't either, to be fair. And Hera now starting to wall because he's worried about Hussar raids. This is going to be a crazy game. Here Hera is on the right. I assume he did notice that castle there, so he might try and avoid that. I also love this. And look at Yo with the big loop around. He might actually notice that. He's going to try and hit the sides of Hera's base as Hera will push. And look at Hera. He knows this, and Yo knows he needs to get through. And so Hera's going to try and wall it. Gets it down. So the Hussars here are kind of useless at the moment, unless the gate opens. Sometimes the villagers will open gates afterwards. And now Yo is using this time and using this distraction to run up the hill, but Hera was still ready. 70 army versus 70 army. This hill is crucial. And Yo's got crazy techs. But he's not spending any gold, which is so fascinating. Normally you have some gold units here. He says, screw gold units. I have too many options. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to get an entree. I'm just going to have appetizers all night. And he loses the castle here, guys. But the Skirm Hussar choice is actually doing something. And then the Hussars over here have done some damage to Hera, who did react and is also raiding from these two stables, which I think Yo might see. Can Hera continue to push on this hill? Can he deny a victory from Yo? Yo has only one win out of the last 5 games in T90 Titans League. There's only 5 rounds, guys. There's a potential of 15 games. That's it. And Yo will lose his Trebs here. Yo could start to lose his stables. Yo is losing ground. These light cav, these Hussars probably won't accomplish too much. But an amazing job from Hera to put Yo on the back foot here. How do you spend your gold right now if you're Yo? Anyone have any ideas? I think you can't go Gulam now because your castle's... because you don't have elite and you need something right away. It's probably just going to be a mix of camels. Camels that seem to be going down to the Arbs. Hera still with more Arbs in queue and more light cav, and still the Trebs firing and taking out buildings. Yo is in big trouble right now at 150 pop. He won't have his relics for much longer. His skirms are getting chewed. Hera has won this game. Incredible push from him, honestly. After losing those 7 villagers to Yo earlier, how the guy was able to take control of this one is beyond me. I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that Yo didn't know what he wanted to make. He made camels, skirms, and gulams at the start of Imp. He genuinely didn't know. I think if he committed to full gulam with skirm, or if he committed to full camel with skirm earlier, maybe got to Imperial camel or whatnot, I think it would have been better for him. That said, he does have Trebs over here. Hera's probably going to have a bunch of light cav arrive here this second. He's going to repair this now. He still doesn't want to give up on this push as he's adding more stables. You should see the blue dots head over. Yeah, here they come. It's a bit desperation from Yo because he doesn't have the army to protect it there. He's trying to get army over there. But Hera had the light cav in queue. All he had to do was just change his gather point. Just click the stable hotkey, set the gather point over here, and then he can snipe this maybe. He gets all of them. So he keeps his castle up. Also, he's raiding out of this stable as it's going down, so he can kill some villagers there. And now a big fight for Yo, and maybe a must-win fight for him. Somehow his population is shot up. His population's still insane. It's 170 for him, and it's actually not like he's overboomed on villagers either. It's just he's back. The camels and hussars take out Trebs over here, and the distraction on that right side has allowed him to push Hera back here. This is incredible. He actually has more farms than Hera does right now with 66. And all those Trebs go down for Hera. Dang, man. I'm beginning to wonder if there's going to be much gold left for Hera. He's been spending it all on Trebs and Arbalest, right? So Yo has been going for camels, but he's been saving a lot of gold. Just when you think Yo is dead, we saw it in game number 1, guys. He just finds an answer. But Hera feels like he can never be broken. He's got golden stone here, catching up on some techs like masonry and architecture, which will give him more HP. Hera needs to grab these relics. He needs to get those relics back home right now. And he needs to continue doing more of the same. He's back up to 200 pop. Yo's still at 160. Yo does have 22 on gold, and I think if he got the tech, the gold mining's faster. But the same composition that Hera's been using seems to be working. There goes a monk to snag one of those relics. He says, thank you very much. And now I think we're going to see what I thought we were going to see a moment ago. Somehow Yo's population shot up. But if Hera can just start to get light cav on villagers, this is where it starts to fall apart. See, because the difference between the skirms and the Arbalest is that Arbalest can take out Hussar. Skirmishers don't. Yo needed to commit to a gold unit that was strong for him. And he never really did. Never made many camels. Camels also a bit questionable against Arbalest. I was thinking Gulam. I was excited to see the elite Gulams against light cav Arbalest. I thought that was the clear play. He had multiple castles. His eco was insane. And maybe it wouldn't work because, I don't know, this combination is really tough and it's something you see work all the time, but I thought elite Gulam would have been the ideal choice. Didn't ever see the elite Gulam, and he certainly has had the resources. Hera, he's about to hand Yo a 3-0, and Yo will have 1 win from 6 matches in the first 2 rounds of T90 Titans League. And I don't know who he plays next week, but I do know the players. It will be Dragonstar, Barles, and Velez. I think Velez could definitely take games and beat Yo. Barles, I think, could definitely win a game or 2. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? Even if Yo is the favorite to win those sets, if he's losing a game or 2, it could make a big difference. And yeah, yo, now he gets Elite Gulam. Oh, what could have been? What could have been? No, now he gets Elite Gulam. I mean, I appreciate the attempt. He's such a fighter. But I don't think 6 or 7 Gulams are going to do too much here. They're hard to kill, man. They're really hard to kill. I really think that unit would have been worth a shot here. Maybe it's because they're just not as proven right now against the comp Hera was going for. Or because he felt like, I've got this. I can go for anything and I'd win. Clearly not the case. Hera, 3 relics. I think 4th is on the way back. He should have all 5 soon. Hera has played the series so well, man. Now, guys, before the series, Hera did have a warm-up game. And that warm-up game was against myself. So I don't want to take credit or anything for his performance here. But I should mention that he's too... He doesn't want to boost my ego anymore and say that I'm the reason he won 3-0, but I think that's at least to lowball at 71% of the reason that Hera just won 3-0. Oh my goodness, man. That was such a great series from Hera. And yeah, thank you for the laughter, guys. And again, a tough spot for Yo as this series progresses, or as this group progresses. Hera hasn't lost a game yet. What's 6 times 40? $240 for him, because you get $40 per win. Looking like one of the favorites, possibly, to win the group. And I think anyone who faces him in this group will be shaking in their boots. But it's not necessarily when you face it up against Hera. You do have to face up against everybody else. And take your shots when you've got it. And that 2-1 for Bro against Yo is looking really bad for Yo right now after this 3-0 result. Crazy, crazy stuff. I will keep everybody updated. So people who are following on YouTube, first off, I want to say the goals that you have nowadays to get monetization on YouTube and all that normally take some time. We immediately hit that on the T90 Extras channel because we've been sending all the content up there. So to the 3,000 or 4,000 people that have been regularly watching the content there, I love it. So thank you. I'm glad you guys are watching it. To the people who've been showing up on streams, appreciate you big time. We're not finished. We have 4 more sets today, so I'll be live all day, okay? Okay, my couch. I think my couch is getting delivered. Anyways, thanks to everybody for watching. Congratulations to Hera. Obviously, Yo's going to have to step it up. We'll look here and just look at the resources collected. I mean, it wasn't that different. Still, to me, it does feel like Yo needed to go for Gulams or Imperial Camel or something because his eco was extraordinary, but I just couldn't commit. Hera took the all-important hill, and he's a beastly player. What can I say? I don't think there's any doubt that Hera is going to move on out of the group stage, and he'll probably be one of the favorites to win the first season.